Alrighty, the next story quest is called The Fallen Empire, given to us by Euless. Level 90. Currently still in an argument forever and always if I never accept this quest, just back and forth arguing until the end of time with Matthias and Gnaeus. We are at Forum Solius in Garlemald. Here we go. Since their excellencies are resolved to negotiate with a contingent, I will escort them to Tertium. I'll also instruct Alphino and Alisae to meet us there, says Euless. Lord Matthias, Lord Gnaeus, by your leave, my comrades and I would speak with the residents of Sonatas. Though the Ilsabard contingent holds the Tower of Babel, it is I who wishes for it to be reactivated, and thus I think it meet that I be present for this discussion. Doesn't make sense to me. And thus I think it meet that whatever. Yet my understanding of your people's hardships, of their hopes and desires, of their dreams for the future, is sorely lacking. In my ignorance, I would struggle to contribute. Lest you worry, I will not plead our case to the community in your absence. I wish only to identify common ground upon which we might build a relationship that sees us overcome our differences. Very well, but know that the guards will not hesitate to escort you from the premises should they judge your actions to be inappropriate. That's Gnaeus. He's going to be the more gruff one. He's kind of a Rogadin, I think they are. I miss Galka. Taru, Elvin, Mithra. I miss those. Hume. Now it's Higher and Makot and ugh. Spare me. Whatever. If it's settled, then you should all head to Sonatas. I'll join you there after I see their excellencies safely to Tertium. And I am going to Sonatas. Yeah. There is no teleport that's closer, so I shall hoof it. And this time hoofing it means clawing it, because my dragon was my random mount. I popped the little minion roulette again. I said a farewell or a see you later to Arshafon. And you will see that I have the buffalo calf, which is, very important to this story. So it's good that he came. They came. She came. I don't know. It's a girl or a boy. I haven't checked the undercarriage. A fate. That's a scary fate. Big old Colossus armor dude. Seneca. That's a funny coincidence. The very first campaign I did in Dungeons and Dragons was with a group that I met. Well, I met them through a person that I joined randomly joined a play for the first time group thing on a site called Start Playing. And she found this group. We did a one-shot, and then she's a very outgoing person in some cases. She found this other group, and I did a full campaign with them, a year and a couple months maybe. And our rogue was an elf named Seneca. And also, oddly enough, she became my girlfriend for long distance for a while, like a year, less than a year. It might have been less than a year, and then I moved across the country from Washington to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. It's Washington State. I hate having to say that. It's stupid. You should say DC if you live in DC, but whatever. It's a district of Columbia. Anyway, yeah, it didn't last, obviously, but seeing Seneca as a fate monster was interesting. Here we have Varshahn and Zero speaking to somebody named Primus. Here it is, Sonatas, a temporary refuge for political dignitaries, hence the tight security. I am given to understand that outsiders are not normally permitted so much as a glimpse inside. We should consider ourselves fortunate to be given this opportunity. I hope it will be worth the trouble, says Zero. As do I, Zero. As do I. Enter Sonatas. Shirtus. Inside is yet another train station. We have train cars lined up that are domiciles, meeting places, etc. Very similar to Tertium. And we have Varshahn to talk to continue. To begin, I propose we split up and ask the residents for their views on the Ilsabard contingent and the current state of affairs. We would also do well to learn more about this enclave itself. Should you observe anything of note, please, pray keep it in mind. It is through open hearts and open minds that I believe we may yet convince their leaders to work with us for the greater good. Alright. I can't mount in this one because it's its own, it's like an instance basically. Pelagia will be our first. We tell her why we're here. You want to know what I think? I'm a soldier. I try not to think about politics at all. I'll say this much. Our leaders labor to preserve our culture, our way of life, what remains of it at any rate. I trust them to do what's best for Garlemald. Can't mount. Try to do it again. I'm an idiot. We see a barrel of ceruleum, which we want to interact with for some reason. It's an energy source. Let him have it. You recognize the large casks as the very same you and your comrades used to transport ceruleum from Lapis Manalis. Why they're in Senatus is unclear. Oh, so it's... Okay, A. It's a closed barrel. We have no idea what's inside. You just told us it was ceruleum, but like, how would we really know? Zero's just like standing in the middle of this whole place, just standing. Fun stuff. Here's Marcus. I can't believe the name Marcus has not been used before this. But whatever. We explain. He's in one of the cars, the train cars. How do I feel about the contingent? Conflicted, to say the least. I've been tasked with the distribution of supplies, and I know as well as any that we couldn't survive without outside aid. Be that as it may, even though the Empire has collapsed, we have our pride. People don't want to be beholden to others forever, and there's no denying that it chafes to see our benefactors occupying the Imperial Palace. And I think we have one more thing to inspect, which is a pile of crates. Oh no, pile of crates. Interacting, the best thing since wrestling. The stockpile of assorted supplies bears markings indicating they were provided by the Ilsabard contingent. The Enclave is clearly reliant upon the Alliance for aid. So, they all are. What? They have a barrel of ceruleum, which, again, we shouldn't really know it because we didn't pry it open, but maybe there's a little bit of ceruleum on the outside. And whatever. A little bit of weird writing in the last couple quests, but like, why didn't we ask for permission to use the Tower of Babel first before like risking life and limb? It's a video game, obviously, but we risked life and limb to get the ether in the first place. We have Varshahn talking to a dude with a cutscene here. This might be voice acted. Nope. Okay. See, I can never tell. Finished touring the Enclave, have you? What were you able to learn? I describe. The very suspicious ceruleum barrel and crates and whatever. Much the same as me then. They accept the contingent's help out of necessity, and harbor a measure of resentment. They have only themselves to blame. If they don't like the bargain, they should reject it. How many times must I tell you? It's absolutely out of the question, we hear someone yelling. Somewhere. We go running. Yelling is against the law. Cutscene goes black. We see a Lancer speaking with another person, and then Euless comes running up as well. What's going on? We were wondering the very same. We came running when we heard shouting. Is aught the matter? No, I was just trying to explain, says Secundus to the Lancer. Mayhap you can clear this up. The contingent has made a reasonable request, but this man insists that it's impossible, says the Lancer. It concerns the Magitech weapons which run rampant throughout Regio Urbanissima. Yeah, it's like, you know. Every time we deliver supplies here, we have to dispatch extra men to defend against potential attacks. To address the issue once and for all, we propose the elimination of all machina that loiter near the supply route. But you heard him. They refused to even consider it. He's a young elven. That's why I kind of made his voice younger. The magistrates have already spoken on this matter. Rampant or no, those war machina are Garlean assets. Furthermore, who is to say they are as dangerous as you attest? It has been suggested that this could be a pretense to scavenge magic material for your own ends. I know not if that is the case, but the fact remains we cannot allow you to destroy them. More speculation by the magistrates, I presume. Ridiculous. But they have spoken. Unless we want to inflame tensions further, there's naught we can do, says Euless. Zero pulls her hat down in her fashion. How complicated relations become when not grounded in a clear and equitable arrangement. Varshahn thinks about this. An equitable arrangement, of course. He turns to the others. Well do I understand the difficulty of your position. As a soldier, you must do your duty and obey your superiors. I have an idea, but I must first speak with Commander Lucia. May I take charge of this matter? But by all means, says the Lancer. Secundus seems to be shocked, but looks to Euless. Euless nods. Secundus thinks. Nods. Varshahn nods back. Let us return to Camp Broken Glass, where we might discuss a solution I believe will satisfy all parties. Okay. Cutscene ends. I think we're ejected out of the instance. Possibly even back to Camp Broken Glass? Nope, we are not ejected. We're still in the instance. Why? Why, oh why? 100 gil to teleport. Detroit Pistons, champs of basketball. I have so many souvenirs, it's hard to list them all. I have piston pants. Have you heard that song? Because if you haven't, it's super short and it's funny. And I gave away the entirety of it just with that line, but it's still funny and worth it to listen to the original. We have Maxima and the Lancer, Euless, Zero, Urion J, Varshahn, and Lucia. Here we go. Cutscene. Please have this one be voice acted because there's so many people. Damn it. Welcome back, all of you. I pray there have been positive developments in your efforts to appeal to the Garlean community, says Maxima. Mayhap not yet, but there is a method by which I believe all stand to gain. As satrap, I intend to propose a trade agreement between Varshahn and the people of Garlemald. It's really far. Please continue, says Lucia. The people of this nation have lived through its collapse and more, yet they have chosen to remain, for it is their home. That they have been able to survive thus far is thanks to the Elisabard contingent, or rather, in less flattering terms, they are entirely at your mercy. Despite your noble intentions, this one-sided relationship has fueled feelings of frustration and resentment. It is no surprise, then, that some Garleans are loath to engage with foreigners, for fear of indebting themselves further, or surrendering more of their already limited autonomy. That is why I wish to present them with an equitable arrangement, one that would restore to them a sense of agency after having been forced to rely upon charity. Euless kind of seems to be on board. Easier said than done. What exactly did you have in mind? He asks. Long have Garlemald and Varshahn abided by a treaty of non-interference. Freely have we traded with one another, and I wish but to continue in this tradition. We would provide your people with such supplies as you require, in return for which you will grant us leave to use the Tower of Babel, as well as share your magitek resources and expertise. As we become more reliant upon your technologies, we will of course require more ceruleum to fuel them. This you possess in abundance, and for it you will be duly compensated. Varshahnn's culture will be enriched by your magitech wonders, and our ever-increasing demand for your wares will see Garlemald grow wealthy and prosperous. Only when both sides keep the interests of the other in mind can an equitable relationship be forged. 'Tis a principle I once thought I understood, but have come to appreciate all the more in recent days, thanks to the sage counsel of a friend from beyond the rift. He looks to Zero and smiles. She looks a tad shocked by it, but... Maxima says, Your Excellency, thank you for your careful consideration of Garlemald's future. Though I cannot speak for every Garlean, I myself see no reason to object to your proposal. Indeed, if Varshahn were to take the initiative, other nations may follow suit and seek to normalize trade relations with us. Varshahn nods. If you see the sense in my proposal, then I ask you to join me in the negotiations at Tertium. Your support may be instrumental in winning over Lord Gnaeus and Matthias. He's given permission from Lucia by a nod, and by all means, go with them. I have matters well in hand. I have learned all that I may regarding the tower's operations, so I too shall hie me to Tertium, says Urianger. Again, hi-fi, whatever. Just makes it harder for us voice actors. I'm not a voice actor, obviously. Cool. Straight up teleport 100G. That's Gil, not 1000, obviously. But... Sorry, free company chat. I guess somebody moved away from the Lalafeld gang to a cat gang. Buffalo Calf. Get him. Get him. Don't get me. What are you doing? Stop it. Alright. We have Matthias at Tertium along with Gnaeus, and this will probably be a cutscene. Indeed. Who'd have thunk it? Please be voice acted. I'm getting tired. Of course not. A crowd you may have brought, but numbers will not intimidate us. The Tower of Babel is ours by rights, and nothing you do will convince us otherwise, says Matthias. Rest assured, it is not our intent to infringe upon the rights of the people of Garlemald. Let us instead discuss the future. As the satrap of Varshahn, I wish to establish a new trade agreement between our nations. He explains his idea. Cutscene goes black. Explanation is over. Maxima nods. The aid we presently receive will not last forever, my lords. Sooner or later we must stand on our own 2 feet. But to do so, we must secure a means to replenish our coffers, and the proposed agreement presents a rare opportunity. 'Tis true we do not want for magitech and ceruleum, and foreign currency will be needed to procure such things as we lack. It would depend on the precise terms, but I can see the merits, says Gnaeus. What? I can't believe what I'm hearing. You served the Emperor, were a proud patriot, yet now you entertain selling national resources like a common merchant, says Matthias. He shakes his head no. Like you, I weep for what we have lost, but if we are to rebuild Garlemald, we must make use of what precious few assets remain to us. Nonsense. Utter nonsense. You are a traitor, Gnaeus, and there will be a reckoning. Oh yes, when the people of Senatus learn of this, they will cry out for your blood. Matthias walks off. Lord Matthias, wait, it isn't safe out there, says Euless. The Fallen Empire is complete. We'll see if there's an after cutscene. There is not. I'll see you next time for the next one.